You're going live now.
All right, hi everyone. Welcome to our first Ward 4 Town Hall of 2021. I am Nikki Lee, your Ward 4 Council member and current Vice Mayor for the 2021 calendar year. I want to first of all thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to talk about what's going on in the Rita Ranch neighborhood area. I also want to thank my team for helping to put this together. It takes a lot of work and preparation to make these happen, so I just want to first acknowledge my team and thank them for their help and acknowledge our special guest who you will have the opportunity to hear from tonight and ask questions. We have Tucson Police Department Assistant Chief Eric Kazmierzak here tonight, and Captain Colin King from ODE, the east side out here, and Tucson Department of Transportation and Mobility Director Diana Alarcon. So those are our special guests for tonight. So we will go ahead and get started into the presentation. I want to give you all an overview of the agenda. Tonight we'll spend about 10 minutes talking about Prop 101, 407, and RTA projects within Southeast Tucson. And then we'll have about 45 minutes for Q&A. So as you hear me run through some of the information about the propositions and RTA projects, feel free to jot down the questions that come to mind, and then we'll have about 45 minutes to be able to talk about those questions. You are likely to hear my dog barking right now because it's 2021 and we're all doing these things from home. So apologize for that. And then we'll do a wrap up, and then we will roll right into another board meeting for the Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association, and Al Wyruth will take us through that process, and that will be right here on this call. So you can hang tight for that immediately following. So let's go ahead and jump right into the Proposition 101. Focused on safer cities and better streets. So to give you a little bit of history on Prop 101, this was May 16th, 2017. You City of Tucson voters approved a new 5-year half-cent sales tax to fund public safety capital needs and to address road repairs. Just so you know, I do think we probably have some people dialed in on the phone, so I don't want to read slides to you because I know you're able to see them, but for those who may be dialing in and only have audio, I want to make sure I cover everything that's on the slides for those individuals. And that tax went into effect on July 1st, 2017, and we're looking at about $250 million to be generated from that tax. $100 million of that is going to be used for road improvements. And of that $100 million, 60% will be used for main road improvements, and the remaining 40% will be used for local street improvements. And as part of Prop 101, voters approved specific major streets to be improved, while the 2012 Bond Oversight Commission selected the local roads to be improved. And then the other $150 million is going to be used for vehicles, equipment, and facilities for Tucson Fire and Tucson Police Departments. And specific to your area, the police department is going to construct a new Southeast Annex station to support operations based on the expansion, because we have a lot of growth, as you know, happening in Southeast Tucson. So to support that growth of our area, the facility is going to be a $4.6 million capital expense project, and it's currently in the design phase. And we'll be able to take any questions on that here in just a few moments. Shifting gears, Prop 407 is focused on parks and connections. And this, for historical purposes, was a November 2018 voter approved proposition anticipating $225 million bond package to improve city parks, amenities, and connections. This will occur in 3 phases over a period of 10 years, starting in 2019, going through 2028. There's a bond oversight commission that's overseeing the funding and paying attention to the progress of the projects. And the types of projects included are playgrounds, sports fields, pools, splash pads, rec centers, and other amenities. And connection projects include greenways, shared use paths, that's hard to say, pedestrian safety and walkability, as well as bicycle boulevards. And then zooming in here locally, the Marian Cleveland Way Shared Use Path project is going to provide a paved 1.3 mile asphalt path and landscaping, and that's going to be on the north side of Marian Cleveland Way from Houghton Road to Atterbury Wash Way. This is pretty exciting. The path will connect to a planned shared use path along Houghton Road and provide walking and biking connections for residents to get to Houghton Town Center, Empire High School, Esmond Station K-8 school, which I'm particularly excited about for all those kids walking to and from school, and the future Southeast Pima County Public Library. So construction has started and is projected to finish by the summer of this year. So all good news on that front. Prop 407 park projects coming to our area. Purple Heart Park, which I have to do a little plug because I was out there today. We launched the Ready Set Rec program, which is a mobile recreation where we're bringing activities out to the parks due to COVID, launched today. So we were out at Purple Heart Park today. So definitely take a peek at Tucson Parks website for upcoming events in the parks here in the area. But we've got several different projects projected for Purple Heart Park, new improvements projected and in various stages. And that's happening in phase 1 and some in phase 3. So phase 1 is happening now through 2022. And as you can see now in phase 1 is new LED lights on existing multi-purpose field, new lights on existing softball fields, and the much anticipated new splash pad which is in design. The LED projects are complete. And then bumping over to the Robert A. Price Senior Park, that is phase 2, which is going to be 2023 to 2025. So that's a little bit further down the road. Those are all projected and slated for phase 2. That's going to be a brand new park for our area, which is going to be huge. It's going to have new sports fields, a splash pad, playground, ramadas, and restroom. So very exciting news on that front. And then coming back to phase 3, which is going to be 2026 to 2028, we have some additional improvements at Purple Heart Park, new basketball court, renovating the existing parking lots, adding a new parking lot, renovating the existing walking paths, new ramada, renovating the skate park and fencing, and for the pool, renovating the pool deck, plaster, and tiles. So lots of improvements at Purple Heart, and then overall a brand new park for us to enjoy in the coming years. So that is how those dollars are planned and how those projects are rolling along. Switching gears again to Regional Transport Authority, the RTA. Again, for some history, this was a 2006 going through 2026 20-year plan, and the goals of the 2006 $2.1 billion voter-approved plan. The goal was to reduce growing congestion at the time, improve safety and regional mobility, and expand transportation mode and choice to meet the regional transportation demands. I know that was particularly close to us out here because we have experienced and continuing to experience so much growth in our area. So projects include new and widened roadway corridors, new and innovative intersections, signalized pedestrian crossings, bike lanes and bike paths, bus pullouts, advanced signal technology, which I'm very excited about, new highway interchanges, wildlife linkages, drainage improvements, new landscaping, and public art. So that, again, will continue through 2026 to finish out the 20-year plan. Specifically zooming in here again to our area, Harrison Road between Golf Links Road and Irvington. There is going to be a new 2-lane bridge that will be built over the Pantano Wash, which floods every single time we have monsoon or melting snow, which is even more rare these days, along with drainage improvements to provide an all-weather access to commuters. So this is a 4th period project to begin between fiscal years 2022 and 2026. So it's on the plan, and it's coming. Also Houghton Road, all the way from I-10 to Tanque Verde Road, 13-mile stretch. So we know that it's a very big corridor and very important to our area out here. So improvements on Houghton Road are being made in several phases over the next 20-year life of the RTA plan. Improvements along the entire corridor include widening to a 4- and 6-lane parkway with new bridges, bike lanes, drainage features, and sidewalks. Earlier phases completed were Oldvale Road, Marian Cleveland Way intersection, Irvington Road to Valencia Road, Broadway Boulevard to 22nd Street, and the bridge of the Union Pacific Railroad tracks and the road to I-10. Improvements to the stretch of roadway from Valencia Road to Marian Cleveland Way began in this past fall, and the phase is anticipated to take about 15 months to complete. And then the 3-mile stretch of roadway from 22nd Street to Irvington is in design phase, and construction is anticipated to start this year. So that is gearing up and very exciting to get even closer to having a nice wide I-10 from I-10 all the way to Tanque Verde. I'm very excited about that. Another project, Valencia Road from Kolb to Houghton. This project is going to widen Valencia to 6 lanes with bike lanes, sidewalks, and drainage for all weather access. Valencia and Kolb intersection improvements will precede this roadway project. As of summer of 2020, the design is underway, and the construction start date is still to be determined, but is anticipated to start near the completion of Houghton Road from Valencia to Marian, Cleveland, as the residents recommended. This was very important because we heard that you don't want multiple of your ways to get to and from work and home to be under construction at the same time. So we communicated that back out. So we appreciate that feedback. The Valencia Road and Kolb Road intersection is one of the busiest in the region, and improvements were completed in 2019. So I know that was a lot of information relatively quickly, but hopefully you had a chance to jot some questions down. And with that, I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen, and Teresa, my Chief of Staff, is on the line and will be able to help us facilitate questions as they may have come in. So Teresa, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Fantastic. The first question, well, it's actually not a question, it's a comment. Congratulations on becoming the Vice Mayor. Thank you for holding this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be able to connect with everyone. So we're happy that you're here.
The next one is a question. My kids weren't able to participate in the events at Purple Heart Park today, but we appreciate you bringing safe activities to our neighborhood. Could you explain exactly what it is so we know what to expect for the next time it's out here?
Absolutely. I will give you some context, and then maybe someone from my team will be able to give you a better URL to know exactly when the van is coming out. But in light of COVID, one of the ideas that one of my colleagues, Councilmember Finbrace in Ward 5, brought to Mayor and Council was this idea of, if the rec centers are closed because of COVID, how can we take activities to the community? So through CARES Act funding, we were able to purchase vans, 1 van per ward, and we're able to load it up with different activities, STEM, physical activities, art, all different types of curriculum to take out to the community and bring the activities out and get people outside, get them physically active. And it's a really exciting program. So today we launched the program. We went to Purple Heart Park as the first park in Ward 4 that we visited. And of course, me being the nerd that I am, we chose STEM as the category, the specific category. So there were games that the park staff facilitated. For today, the kids made rockets, and they launched some rockets into the atmosphere. One of our team members actually got hit in the head with one, but it was made of paper, so she's okay. And that's a true story. But it's just a lot of fun. The park staff has been amazing in creating this content to bring out to the kids, and there'll be things for people of all ages. Teresa or anyone from the team, did you want to add any more content to that? Because it's going to be a lot of programming.
Absolutely. When the programming starts getting announced, they just announced this first week, but as it comes available, we will make sure that it's on your social media as well as on our website. And of course, anybody who has questions, you can call into our office. We will publish this and get all that information out there.
It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Next question. Can we get an update on the police station? Where is it going? We were told in Purple Heart Park, and then the county told us it was going to be built on the Esmond Station parkland. I want the county to build the park they promised us, not to keep putting parking lots and buildings in our green space. So a lot of that question is actually probably more directed to the county, but we do have Assistant Chief Eric Kazmierczak on, and he could probably give us some more information.
I can. Can you hear me okay?
We can. Thank you.
All right. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Vice Mayor Lee. I've been the project manager for the Tucson Delivers project from its inception, actually, for the police department. And this is the first community meeting that I've been able to participate in. So for those of you that live out in Rita Ranch, and for those of you that live on the east side, I want to recognize Vice Mayor Lee for putting this on and allowing me to talk, but more importantly, for you guys to get the information. So this is the first time I've been able to do that. So congratulations and thank you. If I can, I'll just take a second just a second to sort of give the history of this facility and its placement there. We originally were considering Fire Station 19 at Purple Heart Park. When we went through the programming exercise of the size of this facility and the construction needs, we quickly realized that the Purple Heart Park location and sort of adding on to the fire station wasn't going to be feasible. We didn't want to take any land from the park. And it was just going to be a construction nightmare there with some of the issues that are at that site. So we quickly pivoted to looking for other locations, and quite a few have been evaluated. There's some space at the tech park. We evaluated potentially going down to the police academy, which is on South Wilmot. There was some conversation about a partnership with Diamond Ventures and some property that they have. But all of those for various reasons, and we looked at maybe some land at the landfill. All of those for various reasons were not going to be tenable for this project. So this opportunity at Esmond Station came up with the county to build a joint facility with the sheriff's department and the police department, and so that's where we've landed in terms of building this facility. This is going to be an annex. It's not going to be a full-blown substation in the way that the station that Captain King works out of right now, but it'll be an adjunct facility for his personnel to spend the majority of their shift at and provide better service to that section of town. As the Vice Mayor pointed out in her opening comments, it is in the design phase. We've gone through a programming exercise to understand how much room and what type of resources we're going to need there. And we've also gone through a costing exercise to make sure that the costs for the facility that we plan to build are in line with the funding that we have available through Tucson Delivers, which, as the Vice Mayor mentioned, is about $4.6 million. So that's the status of that facility and sort of why it ended up where it is.
Thank you. I hope that answered everybody's question. Really, it's in the works, and we'll keep you guys up to date as we get more information. And you know that Councilwoman Lee always writes articles in the Vail Voice as well as all of our social media. So I'm sure as soon as we have a big announcement, you will be the first to know. Okay, next question. My apologies. There's a lot of them coming in. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. All right, this one's probably for Captain King. What's being done about speeding in our neighborhood? It's getting worse with improved roads.
Thank you. Yep, thank you very much. And Vice Mayor Lee, thanks for hosting, and team. This is wonderful to be able to chat again. I know we got to do this last time. So I saw a couple of the questions look like they revolve around speeding and drag racing and speed racing, or all the different terms that folks use. So I'm just going to give kind of an overview of what we're doing as both a division and as a department as a whole. Maybe 3 weeks ago or so, we brought the chief out. He was really wanting to come out to the east side where some of these problems are happening, and clearly, you are bringing that up today. We did a press conference about speed racing, drag racing, some of those concerns. And then we also, wanted to talk to the community about those issues. What's interesting about the east side, and I know that especially in Rita Ranch, you have just gone through this major construction project. It's not over yet, but it's getting much better. You have these broad, long streets that are just wide and straight, and you're able to drive really rapidly. Well, we were able to see, okay, there's a lot of speeding going on there too. So through phone calls from the community, through our own proactive patrol efforts, we're able to start following up on this. So what we're doing is we have a traffic contingent. So that's the ones you see on motorcycles. So you'll see them out there stopping traffic kind of throughout, really hitting Houghton, going up to Tanque Verde, going down, all the way along Broadway. So trying to hit these areas, and we do it on a rotational basis, so no one knows exactly where they're going to show up. But really, the basis is for traffic safety and then your general speeding. In addition to that, the department has put together a pretty robust response to drag racing, because that's an even more concerning public safety issue. And I know there's a question just down the road, so I'm going to combine it here related to the drag racing. So it's housed out of ODE, so our Operations Division East. Your police substation is housing this project initially, and I've assigned a lieutenant to it. It involves plainclothes officers, so those are ones not driving regular patrol cars. They'll drive what we call unmarked cars. It involves motorcycles. It involves some of our patrol assets. All of the folks are coming to the east side. We brief. We've brought in the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we're collaborating with them on some of these efforts. And so we know, thanks to your calls and to 911 and through the online reporting system, where a lot of these issues are happening. So we're able to tailor our responses to that. This deployment, works different times and different days, and they're able to go around the city to these hot spots, if you will. So I guess the other point I really want to highlight is, you have a ton of resources, addressing these. We're working on city code adjustments to be able to support the effort, specifically related to impounding vehicles. So if they're involved in dangerous, and it has to be dangerous speeding, drag racing. A lot of these people spend a lot of money on cars, and they really care about them. So tickets and fines don't really affect them as much as if their vehicle is impounded. So we're also looking for deterrent effects. All of this comprehensive response is to address the speeding. The chief on down, the council is concerned about it. We've all heard you loud and clear, and we've seen it. And we want our streets safe. So that's two kind of different responses to those issues, and be on the lookout for additional information as we keep moving through this process.
Thank you, Captain King. We appreciate it. The next few questions are for the Transportation Director, Diana Alarcon. The first question is, when will Rita Road get fixed? It's really bad.
So I wish I had a good answer for you. Unfortunately, Rita Road is not on our Prop 101 list. And that's really right now all the funding that we have available for roadway improvements. But what I am going to do is I'm going to have staff take a look at it and see if there's a short-term solution that we may be able to offer on it, just to maybe help extend its life a little bit longer until we can get dollars programmed to actually do a total road improvement on it. So I wish I had better news, but unfortunately it's not on the books yet.
That's okay. It's on the radar, and we appreciate that.
Yep.
And this one, you get a lot out here. When will Marian Cleveland be widened? The amount of traffic is growing daily.
We agree, and actually Marian Cleveland is part of the Move Tucson initiative. I want to let y'all know we heard very loud and clear from folks out in Ward 4 about Marian Cleveland. So right now we are working through prioritizing all the projects that were submitted through Move Tucson. We're hoping to get back before the mayor and council back in the end of March with that prioritization and get their approval of how we weight and approve projects to prioritize them. But Marian Cleveland and the widening of that is part of it. Once we get that prioritization project list, it's going to kind of be our roadmap, yes, every pun intended, of how we're going to be building and redesigning our transportation system throughout the city moving forward. So it is one that is actually at the top. It's gotten some, it's clicking on all of our guiding principles from our Complete Street initiative. So I just want you to know it is also on the horizon, and it's one that is being looked at. And I also just want to thank you real quickly, Vice Mayor, for allowing me the opportunity to come out and speak to the community as well. So I don't get this chance very much, so I do appreciate it.
We always appreciate it out here. I'm gonna skip to you because there's another question coming for you, Diana, and then I'm gonna skip back to Councilwoman. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Lee.
Okay.
You're gonna like this one. What is happening with the corn art near McGraw's? We couldn't believe that the artist thought we would like it in Tucson. Will it be changed, and when can we see the new designs?
So we have had several meetings with the Art Foundation, who is actually responsible for working with artists that we do on the RTA projects. And so we have shared with the artists the concerns that we heard in the virtual meeting that we had a few months back. And we are asked, and she is going back to the drawing board and she is working on some designs. And as soon as she comes forth to us, we'll actually be reaching out to the community again and holding another virtual meeting. So we're moving in that direction. I just don't have, I'm waiting to hear back from the artists and the Arts Foundation, but that's where we're at right now, is we're waiting to get the redesign so that we can have another virtual meeting with the community and go from there. So thank you for the question.
Thank you, Diana. And I know that's really important to Vice Mayor Lee, so we really appreciate you taking her comments into consideration and having these additional meetings with the community.
Definitely.
So here is a nice comment for Councilwoman Lee. I went to an event at Purple Heart Park once, and a gentleman was collecting signatures to put in a tennis court. A lot of people were walking away from the table talking about how they don't want a tennis court, but they wanted a basketball court. So thank you for listening to the community. We're very excited to have a basketball court and splash pad at Purple Heart Park.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm a sports fan myself, so and I do appreciate basketball. So I'm excited for those projects as well. And also, since all of our guests mentioned it, I want to come back and thank you all for being here as well. And thank you for your kind words and for your time. So I thought I would fit that in while I had the microphone, so to speak.
Well, you've got it for a little while because there's some more coming up. This one I can answer really briefly. Why isn't Esmond Park finished yet? I bought my house next door to where the park is supposed to go and nothing is getting done. Esmond Park is actually a county park, and so we would have you ask that to your county supervisor, Steve Christie. So the next question for Vice Mayor Lee, I read your article about the Crown Act. As a Black mother, I really appreciate you educating the community on this important issue. No one should be discriminated against because of their hair. It has happened to me and my daughter, so thank you for protecting us. If you wanted to take a brief moment to explain what that was, because I know on some different radio programs, they're not quite explaining what the Crown Act is correctly.
Sure. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. It's something that's important to our family as well. So the Crown Act, Teresa, can you remind me the acronym? It's creating a respectable, can you remind me of what the acronym stands for? I'll talk about it and then Teresa can tell us what the acronym means.
Thank you.
I can't remember all of there's so many acronyms in this space, but ultimately we learned through a study that was done by Dove that a large percentage of African American women have felt the need to change their hairstyle or have felt that their hairstyle has impacted them in their professional world. And as a mother of multiracial children, the topic of hair is something that comes up quite often for us as well. So I understand by having a special lens into the Black community how important this topic is, and it's not always understood by people who don't have that same context. So what happened is Councilmember Kozaczek actually was reached out to by the NAACP with the Crown Act framework that 9 other cities have implemented in some other states, which basically makes it illegal to discriminate based on a person being able to wear their hair in a natural way. And we felt that this was something that was really important that we do for people here in Tucson. It's important. It's just really important. And so we were able to draft a study session item and give direction to draft an ordinance for a Crown Act here in Tucson. So Teresa, do you have that acronym?
I do. It is create a respectful and open workplace for natural hair. So I
Thank you.
appreciate it. No, thank you. And honestly, thank you, Vice Mayor, because your education has really helped us at the office as well. These are things that we weren't really aware of. And so it's important. It's an important education piece for all of us in the community.
It really is. It really is. So it's one of the things that I will forever be happy that I was able to be a part of and grateful that I was able to be a part of for forever. So I know how much it means to people. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. This next one for you, Vice Mayor, thank you for keeping us updated on projects in our area. We appreciated getting notified in advance of the Houghton and Rita Road work over the weekend. It was easy to get through the intersection after all. That's nice.
Good. Good. Yes. And thanks to Diana and her team. Yes, she's giving us double thumbs up on that. We appreciate their quick deployment of the extra road signs and communication. I heard the radio ads when I was driving, so I know, or the radio announcements. So I know there was a lot of work to go out to communicate to everybody because we did not want people to be stuck and angry, especially on Valentine's Day. That would not be good for relationships, and I'm very aware of that. So good job to the Transportation and Mobility Department.
Absolutely. I'm going to have this one for Captain King. I hope that's okay. I noticed a lot of homeless and tents and things throughout the city. What's being done to help our homeless and get them off the streets and out of the desert?
Yes, well, thank you for that question. And it is, it's a difficult situation. And so I'll be upfront and frank with you that there's no easy solutions to the issue of folks experiencing homelessness. So, the police department definitely plays its role, and we work together with other city departments and entities to try to help individuals that are experiencing homelessness. One of the ways that the police department itself has created additional engagement and ways to be able to assist is through the creation of what we call the Homeless Outreach Team, or it's a loving acronym of the HOT team, but it's Homeless Outreach Team. And they work really closely with our homeless protocols, with city-based entity and other community providers and partners to try to figure out the best way to help individuals that are experiencing homelessness, because it's not generally, one size fits all solution. Oftentimes these individuals will be, we call it the trifecta, but it's, substance use, alcohol use disorder, and also mental health related issues, sometimes all three co-occurring. So it's a challenge, and we try to get the appropriate resources to the appropriate places to help solve the problems. Now, obviously, if there's a criminal element, so if it's, assaults taking place, larcenies, things of that nature, the police will be more involved. But if it's not a criminal violation, we try to figure out the best ways to get people into housing or other areas to make this a long-term solution. The police department over time, working with our partners, have realized you can't just arrest your way out of it. I mean, maybe 20, 30 years ago, you would have seen somebody taken to jail, but really that's not the appropriate place for individuals to go. That doesn't solve the issue. They come right back out of jail, and it's maybe even more challenging to assist them. So I'm not here to tell you that there's an easy solution, nor that we've found the solution. I don't think if you look across the country, anybody has, but the department itself, and like I said, with our city partners, have definitely taken some fairly progressive steps in trying to solve the root issues of homelessness and how we could work with our community members, and balance the rights and the needs of our businesses and our homeowners, because obviously that's a big concern for us too. How do we all work together to help end this on a longer term scale? And so that's really what we're working towards, but appreciate the question.
Thank you, Captain King. There's a lot of questions coming in. Let's see here. What haven't we addressed? Okay, we're getting several of the zoo questions, so let's go ahead and start knocking some of those out. I see on the news some people upset because the zoo is expanding, but we voted to expand the zoo. My family has an annual membership to the zoo, and it's one of the few activities we have for families in Tucson. What can we do so the mayor and council knows there are a lot of people who want the zoo expanded?
Good. Well, I'm glad that the conversation is coming up. I think that's really been my mindset around this topic. For several months at mayor and council meetings, we've had, during call to the audience, we've had people come talk about their concerns about the zoo, about Barnum Hill, about what's happening. And to date, we have not had a conversation as mayor and council to talk about what can be done, what can't be done. And that is coming. Teresa, do you know the date of that meeting on the agenda? I know it's made the agenda. I know it's coming in March.
Yep, it's March the 9th.
Okay, so March the 9th is definitely a council meeting. They're all very exciting. All the council meetings are just very exciting, but that one will be so much fun for y'all to tune into because we will be talking about the zoo. So what I really want to have a conversation about is, like I said, what can we do legally, what is available, how can we address the concerns of people for the open space while preserving what the voters have voted to do, because we have to ensure that what was voted on, which was expanding the zoo, is upheld, because that's the voice of the voters. So that's really what I'm looking at right now, is having that conversation, having that dialogue, and really problem solving around what can be done moving forward as the zoo expansion continues. So I know that doesn't really answer the question, but that has been my goal, is to have a space and a time for us to have that conversation as mayor and council and get some alignment around the different stakeholders and get a plan so we can move forward.
We appreciate that. Yeah, and you can always email the mayor and council offices. Our office is, Vice Mayor Lee has made it a high priority that every email gets responded to that comes into the Ward 4 office. And so feel free to email us and all of the mayor and council offices. You can also speak at Call to the Audience during mayor and council meetings to get your voice heard. So some other comments around the zoo, since I'll just cluster them together. Congratulations on your vice mayor position. Can we be mailed pictures of the proposed Reed Park changes? If you'd like, I can answer that. If you would like to put in this post to us your email address, we won't publish it live, and we can send you over the links to the proposition that was passed, and it does have pictures of the zoo and the map that shows where they're moving to. The next one is from Kara Bissell, a friend of ours at the Ward 4 office. Is the Reed Park project to enlarge the zoo able to be reversed or changed at this point? Great question, Kara. We will all know the answer at the next council meeting that Councilwoman Lee had mentioned is March the 8th. Those are great legal questions that we will all be able to hear at the same time.
And it's March the 9th, right?
I'm sorry, March the 9th. Yes,
that's
thank
okay.
you.
And Teresa,
yes.
While you look at that next question, I am going to flip my switch before my laptop dies. So I'm going to turn my camera off for 2 seconds, but I'm listening.
Fantastic. This is a very nice comment from another great friend of ours, Andrea Flores. Thank you, Vice Mayor Lee, to you and your team for the great newsletter and this town hall to keep the community of Rita Ranch informed. It is much appreciated. Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your amazing son who lobbied us hard for that basketball court that's coming to Purple Heart Park. So thank you to you and your family. We appreciate it. All right, another great question. The land was cleared next to the new homes across from Sabano. What is being built there? It's actually an apartment complex. It's going to be the HSL La Estancia high-end apartments, and it was part of the master plan when the city sold the land to Mattamy. And so if you guys remember from all those public hearings, that was zoned for multifamily, high density. So that is coming in, and it's high-end apartments. Next question, I know Councilman Lee knows this one very well. Where can I take my glass recycling? Is there a place closer than Lincoln Park?
Yes, well, at Purple Heart Park, I happen to park right next to the Purple Bin, which is for glass recycling, and at the Ward 4 office where the neighborhood recycling center is for your normal recycling. There is also a purple bin there that you can use. And Teresa, is there a website for additional, because I know there's more than just a couple in Ward 4.
There is, and what we can do is get that information on here that has the link to all the different glass recycling bins as well. And of course, you can always take things to the recycling centers as well. Let's see, Councilwoman, thank you for your monthly updates in the Vail Voice, always informative, and I appreciate your positivity during these times. My parents need to get their vaccines. Where do they go for that?
Yes, well, good question, and thank you for acknowledging the positivity. I try very hard to put that out there, especially during these times. Try to give a little bit of hope and a little bit of optimism out there in the world whenever I can. Teresa, do you have the link that we could drop in the chat for the information to the county's website for registration and details?
Absolutely. We have a real simple link there. And so it's super simple to go onto the county's website and get registered, and you'll get an email back that gives you directions on how to set up your time. So a very easy process. We're glad you're getting vaccinated. Next question, we are trying to get solar installed on our house and it took forever to get a permit through the city. How can people get their permits faster? Good question, and I actually have an answer for you. We are partnering with Pima County and they will take over all of our permits for solar. We receive about 500 or more permits, solar permit requests a month, and that's more than triple what we were doing last year. And so people are really trying to get solar right now. And so we realize that it's definitely been in the queue for a while. And so we're just finalizing the paperwork with Pima County, and we'll be able to get some additional resources available to be able to get those permits approved much quicker. So thank you for your question.
And I would like to acknowledge Teresa specifically on this because she has been really key in working with planning and development services to try to help identify efficiencies and opportunities to help move things along. So good job, Teresa, for all your work on the back end that most people don't even know about.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, these are the repark questions. Does the city still offer free roll-offs for neighborhoods? Yes, they do. You can just email the Ward 4 office at ward4@tucsonaz.gov, and we would be happy to get the application set up. Neighborhoods, whether you're an actual neighborhood association or just a street of neighbors who want to do, a spring cleaning, we can get a roll-off delivered to you. You just need to set up the application through us. And let's see, we have a couple more. Thank you for organizing the Valentine's cards for seniors. My kids enjoyed making some. How many did you end up handing out?
Teresa, you would have a better idea on that, but I will take the opportunity to thank the community for all of their help with that. I know TUSD had some students that made some cards, and we had a lot of people in Ward 4 that did that, and I want to thank my team for coming up with that idea and executing that idea, and I hope that it made a lot of seniors feel appreciated this Valentine's Day. But I know you said in the area of hundreds, right, Teresa? We
ended up having more than 800 cards, and a lot of them came from the Rita Ranch community. So Cienega High School ended up making a lot of cards for the seniors, and they were very appreciative. So thank you guys. Regarding homeless again, my friend has a camp living directly behind their home in a wash, and is really fed up. Is there any way you can get them to move? So this would be for Captain King again.
Sure. Yeah, that I understand that frustration. That's a challenge, and the businesses and the homeowners, we get that. So what we would ask in this kind of a situation is to give us either a call or to write, and that could be ODE, so ODE tucsonaz.gov. And that'll come directly to my team as well. That'll give us an opportunity to evaluate the location, make sure it's in the city, or if it's in the county, we make sure the right people are involved. So that way we'll be able to triage it and get the appropriate entities working on that, because it seems like that's kind of a long-standing issue, is what it sounds like from your note. And so we'll be happy to help out and get the right people involved.
Fantastic. Thank you, Captain King. Currently, we have gone through, I believe, all of the questions. If I missed anything, please flag us. Did any councilwoman, did you want to say any last comments while we're waiting?
Yeah, I do have a couple closing slides to share, which will take me a second to get that pulled up so I can start that process. And if there's anyone on the line that wants to do *6 to unmute, if you have a question, I will kind of pause for that while I'm getting my slide shared here. All right. Well, let me go ahead and share the final of the slides that I have. All right. Teresa, can you see just the one slide?
We can, and it looks great.
Perfect. So we just want to give you a preview into the rest of the town halls that we have planned for this year. We kind of accidentally realized last year that when we had a very specific targeted neighborhood meeting, we had a lot more people show up. So we thought, let's just bring the conversations, really zoom into the neighborhood level and talk about the issues that are very specific to the neighborhood associations. So you can see that we have several of those happening this year, but then we have our core services meeting. So March is Parks and Rec. And then we have a budget conversation, which is going to be really important for us in May, development services. And of course, we'll have TPD and transportation with us all throughout the year to address issues that come up in each neighborhood. And we're really hoping that by December, we have to be determined end of year open house. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that things will be ready to meet in person and we won't have to rely on only virtual by the end of the year. That's the goal. But you guys were the first ones out of the chute this year. So let us know how this process is working and if you like this. Also, plenty of ways to keep in touch. As Teresa mentioned, we have our email ward4@tucsonaz.gov, our phone number 791-3199. We've got our standard website where we post all of our upcoming events. We've got Facebook and another Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just the difference on those two, the CO2 Ward 4 is really more of things that are happening with the city, different events that are coming up, and the Councilwoman Lee is really more about the things that I'm working on as your Councilwoman in Ward 4. So those are kind of the differences on the content that you'll see on those two, but we would love for you to also sign up for our newsletter. My team, specifically Hannah, works really hard to compile a lot of really good content to make sure that everything that we're aware of, we get out to you. Also, you're tracking what we're tracking. So it's very important for us. Teresa, before we open up the space for the Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association meeting, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I don't have anything else, and we don't have any additional questions in the queue. Okay. But thank you for this. This has been great. We've had a lot of fantastic participation. So thank you, everybody.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you all for taking your time on a Thursday evening to spend time talking about the issues that are near and dear to us. And we are always here. As Teresa said, it's important that if you take the time to write us, that we take the time to write you back. So anything that comes up for you, any concerns, questions you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office, and this is what we're here for. So thank you all so much. Thanks again to my team. Thank you for our city staff who is here today to help us make this event happen. So I want to wish you all a happy Friday tomorrow after a long week, And Teresa, with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to you to help us transition to the Neighborhood Association meeting portion of tonight's event.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vice Mayor. And thank you, all of our guests, Captain King, Assistant Chief Kazmierzek, and Diana. We appreciate you guys participating. You guys can all hang up if you'd like, and we're going to turn it over to the Neighborhood Association President, Al Wyruth. Al, are you on the line? If so, you can hit *6.
Yes, please, I am. Thank you, Vice Mayor Lee, for your excellent meeting and for the guests that you provided to us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to try to put a screen up, Al, that has a call-in number for everybody if they wanted to call in. I'm just not for your vote, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. I was just going to just sort of do it as a sort of a consensus thing. There are a couple things for those that are on the are still with the meeting. This is we're part of the charter with the City of Tucson, the Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association, to have a communication with the city and the residents. If you go to the Ward 4 website and you were to look under neighborhood associations, you could see the size of the boundaries of the Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association. There's no charge, there's no nothing for us. We're all volunteers. There were a couple questions that came up during Vice Mayor Lee's meeting. One of them had to do with the Esmond Park. When is it going to be improved? There is a group of people. It's called the Southeast Regional Council. I attend the meetings lately virtual, but to let you know that one of the discussions has to do with the park. The county doesn't have funding to fill out the park. What you're seeing as far as the library and the police station, that special funding is being done, and the work is being done in the park itself. But as far as ball fields and that other, this council is trying to come up with suggestions to the county of how funding can be obtained for improvements to the like ball fields and stuff. But one of the first things that has to be done is infrastructure, and infrastructure such as water and sewage and stuff has to be done first in accordance with the county parks people. And so that's roughly around $6 to $7 million that would have to come up first. This council is trying to come up with suggestions to the county of how funding can be obtained for improvements to the like ball fields and stuff. But one of the first things that has to be done is infrastructure, and infrastructure such as water, sewage and stuff has to be done first in accordance with the county parks people. And so that's roughly around $6 to $7 million that would have to come up with. This council is trying to come up with suggestions to the county of how funding can be obtained for improvements in infrastructure such as water, sewage, water message to have infrastructure, county infrastructure such as water. It sounds like I'm getting a feedback on my phone. I apologize for that. We'll try to finish this up fast. We put out a bulletin. Those of you that are online still, if you live in HOA areas, I try to put out information that I do get from Ward 4 and from the City of Tucson to your HOA managers. And if you are not getting the information, you could write me and let me know. My email is on
our website, rearranch.org. But I did put out a bulletin because I know that somebody asked about the glass, where to put glass recycle, and I had listed it in a neighborhood bulletin. So if you're not getting the information, you may want to notify your HOA managers that stuff that comes from the neighborhood association, you would like to get the information. If you're not in an HOA, you can email me and I can request our vice president, Mike Tone, to put you on his list to personally get emails when I send them out. But tonight's meeting, we need to elect our current or our board members. The current board members that would like to continue, this is something we're supposed to do yearly. Trey Benson, Joanne Buckingham, Carla Dominique, Ray Hassenstab, Rudy Lopez, Ann Lopez, Elizabeth Smart, Mike Tone, John Young, Sheila Wilson, and Al Wyruth. If I don't hear any objections, I'll just figure that those people are elected for another year. In my bulletin, I had asked if anybody was interested in being on the board. I don't know, is anybody, if you're still there, interested? Teresa, you're still there, right?
I am still here. You have 9 people who are watching live, and you have 2 people who have called in. If you're watching live and you want to make a comment for Mr. Wyruth, feel free to put it in the live event QA, and I will make sure he knows it's there. And if you've called in, hit *6, and we will be able to hear you.
And so, but yeah, the improvement as far as the splash pad is, they're having a problem right now trying to get permits, but in May that should start in Purple Heart Park. One thing that has been interest for a lot of people is the state land at the southwest corner of Valencia and Houghton. There's about 330 acres. That's still planned that is going to be auctioned off mid 2021. I have no idea who the buyers or anybody would be, but just to let you know. Brush and Bulky in our area is scheduled right now for the week of April the 12th. And also, if you want to put on your calendar, the week of October the 11th is the Brush and Bulky pickups for our area. Now that's the Monday. They don't necessarily come on Monday. They may come on Wednesday, depending. The pickup area is pretty good size. It includes the Savano, and it includes Mesquite Ranch and our area and out further. And so just to let you know. Trash pickups, I know that a lot of people don't know. We didn't get information this year when trash pickups, but I thought I'd let you know that on March 29th, that's a Monday. It's a holiday for the city, so they won't be picking up trash on Monday. So our Tuesday pickup will be put off till Wednesday. And of course, Memorial Day, the big holidays, like Memorial Day, July 4th, and September 6th, Labor Day. Most people know when those dates come up, but there are some of the other ones I thought I would let you know, especially the Cesar Chavez birthday. And in the bulletin, there was more information having to do with widening of the different roads we've got about out here, and where you can call for graffiti removal and so forth. And like I said, if you didn't get this, I'll be more than happy to send it to you. My email, in case you want it, it's Al Wyruth. It's easier if you just go to the RitaRanch.org, and I'm listed on there. It's easier than trying to spell it over the phone to you, just to let you know. But if you want to call me, my phone number is 574-1189. Teresa, I don't have very much more for the association meeting. Do you have, you said you had a couple questions?
I don't have any questions, but just since this is a recorded meeting for your minutes, do you want to make a motion for the just for the minutes portion? Yeah, to reappoint. I can second it if nobody else on the phone wants to unmute.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to
Okay.
make that motion.
Okay.
You're second it?
I will. I'll second it, and we'll count all in favor by being mute. And if there's any opposed, now is the time to speak up or put a comment in QA. Hearing none, motion passes. Congratulations, everyone, on another amazing board position. Thank you so much, guys.
We're elected again for the 20th year. Okay.
I could visualize and hear Joanne giggling as we talk, Al. I miss you guys tremendously. I can't wait to see you all in person.
Yeah, it will be nice to do that. And so I appreciate the help from Ward 4 staff on a lot of the different little issues that I've been bringing up. And anybody that's on listening, if you have any issues like potholes, and it doesn't have to be in our area, potholes or signals or anything like that, you can always go to Ward 4 and ask them for help, and they're more than happy to provide you that help. So, you know, I'm sorry if you live in an I'm sorry.
Question. Will Ward 4 help in supporting getting Reese Loop City to sweep the bike lanes?
Absolutely. I will send that over as you guys continue talking.
Yes, because they've been doing a lot of sweet improvements, or gas line and all that, and it's just been filling up with gravel, we'll call it.
Okay. No, I'm glad you brought it to your attention. I believe, I think, I'm not imagining it, I saw an email from Mr. Wyruth asking for some street sweeping out in the area as well. So it would be perfect timing to get it all done.
Yeah, Teresa, if you could send it, yeah, I had my street sweeping area I complained about was having to do with Pantano. I had driven by there, and they had just painted the bike lanes and all the different striping on the street from golf links over to Broadway, and yet, you know, I sit there and saw the bikers trying to get out of the bike lane because of all the stuff that's there. So that, yeah, I had not looked at Reese Loop, and I apologize. Even though I live inside the Reese Loop, I usually I hadn't seen that part. So
it takes a community.
Yes, it does.
And the other question, Teresa, if you could look into what it takes so long to get some of these sidewalks on Reese Loop repaired. They're really bad shape, and it's been over 3 years since we have made our request.
All right, I'm adding that to the email. Perfect. I've got that on there. And I will tell you guys, normally sidewalks are, the way that the code is written, it's the responsibility of the adjacent homeowner, even though people think that they're city sidewalks. And so Reese Loop is a little bit of a different, the way that the road was designed, it falls into a little bit of a different category. So I don't have the answer right off the top of my head, but we'll definitely get the request in.
Well, my understanding was some years back is that roads like Reese Loop, sidewalks, is covered by the city. The city doesn't allow, the homeowners don't have to worry about it. It's the city that takes care of the sidewalks that need repair and all that are either by the park or the elementary school. So that's where you're falling in then.
You could very well be right. I think I remember some of that as well.
And I also think that I think they finally realized, I hope, that doing sidewalk repair is not very well supported by having asphalt in place of concrete. Because of the heat, it buckles up and it sinks.
Right.
I don't necessarily have anything else for this meeting. If there's no other questions, I entertain a motion for us to adjourn.
Before you do that, Al, there's a couple comments
Yeah.
here. Miss DeVita sent a comment saying, congratulations all, thank you. And another person sent one saying, thank you all. So good kudos. I
Okay.
move that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, second, anybody second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor? I think we're gonna adjourn the meeting, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to remain, and so we can finish up some the Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association meeting. And thank you, Teresa, for staying online and helping me out.
Of course, thank you. And I will send you over the recording, Al, if you need. I don't know if you need to submit minutes or anything, but you can just submit it to Becky.
Yeah, I usually have to write up some kind of a meeting synopsis or something to send down, and so that would help. So
perfect. Sure will. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank
Everybody
you.
stay safe. Bye.